See, if you want to make sense, you got to make sense. If you don't make sense, you do make sense. You can make sense by making sense. Does that make sense? No, it doesn't, because if you want to make sense, you don't make senses that makes sense. What doesn't make sense is not making senses make sense, while also not making sense, but that can make sense by making sense, because it makes sense. But that doesn't make sense, because you make sense, you can make sense, and you cannot make sense. You can't make sense without making sense. A way you can make sense by not making sense is making a sentence not make sense, by making sense make sense. Even though it doesn't make sense, it actually does. And that's how you can make sense. You can do anything to make sense, but you can also do anything to not make sense. That makes sense, but it doesn't at the same time, because when you make sense you can't make sense. But that doesn't make sense. You can make sense, but you just have to not make sense to make sense, while also making sense. I hope this made sense.